And I don't think. This thing just shuts off. We call it the ugly socks. Hello and welcome to the Golden Hour Knitwear Podcast. My name is Camry and this is episode number 3. Today we have finished objects, we have whips, we've got test knits, no new yarn, but I have some thoughts on new yarn and stuff. But let's jump into it. Today I'm wearing the cloud tee, which I test knitted for JC at the Bluebird Pine Shop, and this was such a fun knit. And I feel like it went pretty fast. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'm just used to knitting fingering weight stuff. But so this one is not yet released. I don't know what the release date is. If I find out what it is, I'll put it on the screen somewhere. By the time I upload this or while I'm editing, if I know it by then. But if not, the test is running until June 30th, so it's somewhere after that. But JC was super great, and she allowed me to use yarn that I pulled from a sweater that I thrifted. So that's really fun. This is super fun yarn. So I can't tell you like what brand I used, though I think the pattern suggests knitting for olive something. Silk or cotton merino, one of the two. But it's such a fun knit and I love the fit. So it's such a fun knit. When I was trying to figure out how long to knit the body, I laid it over the top of my favorite t-shirt and it has like the same ease. Is that what you'd call it? Yeah, it's supposed to have, I think the pattern calls for 0 to 2 inches of positive ease. I haven't done all the measurements yet on what I got and what everything is, but it's basically the same as my favorite t-shirt. Laying it over the top, the sleeves are like not quite as open as my favorite t-shirt. It might be the same as a different t-shirt that I own that I absolutely love, but the width, the body like out, that is my favorite. I love the fit of that, so I'm super happy with how it turned out. I did knit it about an inch longer than the pattern called for, which after I put the hem in there, I think it's actually probably an inch and a half longer than it called for, because I think my hem turned out a little bit longer than it was supposed to. But I need to take a look at that and figure that out for sure. But yeah, I really love this shirt. I wore it all day Monday, and I'm just wearing it for the podcast today. On Monday, I wore it, like, finished for the first time, and I wore it all day. And all day, I was just like, man, I need another one. I need another one. I need another one. And I have the yarn. I have more of this yarn. So I might make another one, but with blue stripes, because I dyed some of this yarn blue. So I might make another one with, like, starting at the underarm, do thin blue stripes all down the body, which I've been dying to knit stripes this summer. So I might do it because I really want to do something striped. So we'll see. I've actually even thought about doing like a stripe knit along in July. So I don't know, we'll see. Let me know what you think about that. If you want to do a stripe knit along, maybe we'll do that unofficially or officially or something like that. But anyways, thinking about it, it's a great pattern. I definitely recommend it. I'll give you some more details about it. So the hem, I know it's hard to see because I have my microphone, but the hem or the ribbing up here, it's nice and thin. It's not like super chunky like you would expect on winter knits, but for the cooler weather or the warmer weather, I like that it's more delicate, I guess. And it calls for an Italian cast on. Is that what it is? I've never done one before, but there's a great video linked in the pattern that is super helpful in helping you figure it out. And it's super seamless. Like, you don't have that ridge of just pearls or knits or whatever from your cast on. It's just straight ribbing all the way through the cuff, which I really like. And then on all the other ends, we have this hemmed edge where you knit it, then you do a row of purling, and then you knit another however many rows, and then you fold it under and hem it down so that that purl edge is on the very edge, so it folds nice. And I think that's a really fun detail. I feel like that's not something that you see all the time on knitted things. I mean, obviously it comes up, but I feel like I-cord and ribbing is much more common than hemmed edges, so that's really fun. And I love that it's the same detail on the split hem down here at the bottom. You have the hemmed edge with that split. And the back is supposed to be a little bit longer than the front. You can see a little bit, but that's that. There's also, so it's raglan construction, but there's German short rows in the back. So it fits really great when you lay it flat. The back sits higher than the front. So it just fits really good. I love it. I love it. I think I definitely do need to make another one. I don't know if I'll do it right now. Maybe I will. We'll see. Though I probably have enough projects going on, and I have a couple new ones that I'll show a little bit later. Is there anything else to say about this one? I don't think so. So the test ends June 30th, but we're going boating next week. And I didn't want to like finish it on the boating trip and block it at the cabin and then take the photos for JC and fill out all my questions and things like that. So I tried to get it done quick. My goal was to have it done this Sunday, but I finished it last Sunday. So that was fun. I'm really happy with it. I really, really am. I recommend this pattern to all you t-shirt loving people, which I think everybody loves t-shirts. So hop on that when it comes out. As for other finished objects, I finished my goodness. Can you hear that? There we go. The honking stopped. Okay, so I finished my Birch Shortie socks. And I love this pattern. This is such a fun detail on the sock itself. And my toes ended up weird. I need to stop trusting patterns and stop doing what the pattern tells me to do about the toes. Here's the pattern. You can see a little better. I twisted the sock on the blocker so you can see. Twick it, buddy. Twick it. Twick it. Okay. Sorry about that. My dog just started barking because my husband's painting in the house and there's knocks and he thought, anyways, I don't know where we left off. I think, yes, we were talking about socks. My toes are weird. I need to stop trusting patterns on how they tell you to do socks because I always stop knitting the pattern where it tells me to knit the pattern and then start the decreases where it tells me to. But if I follow the decrease every other row pattern that socks usually have, then my socks end up being way too long. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know what's going on there. So I just need to figure out my own sock deal, my toe deal, and just do that every time. I also need to stop knitting after like 11 o'clock because I get to like right here on my socks. I get ready to do my toes and it's time to go to bed, but I'm like, I'm almost done. I'm so close. And I just have to finish. And then I end up staying super late. Staying up super late and to finish my socks. But then I make stupid little mistakes with my toes and I misinterpret the pattern and I don't think. This thing just shuts off. So I don't know. The pattern said stop doing your decreases when you have 18 stitches left. My silly little tired brain interpreted that as 18 stitches left on each needle before you do the Kitchener stitch. But that's a lot, and you end up with a square foot, right? And that's kind of funky. So I need to fix that. I should have 18 or 19, whatever it was, stitches left in total. So 9 stitches left on each needle. So I need to end with 8 or 9 stitches left on each needle, not 18. But yeah, so I might have to, and then my second sock, I don't know what happened. I didn't take many notes on how I did these socks, which is dumb because, well, I thought I followed the pattern exactly as it said. So I was like, okay, I'll just do the same amount of increases for the texture of the pattern here, and then I'll start my toes, and I'll do exactly what the pattern says, and it'll turn out the same. But it didn't. So I don't know what happened besides just my brain shutting off because my decreases, on this one are more in the front. They're not, I didn't have the same amount of stitches on each needle when I started the decreases for some silly reason. I don't know what happened. I'm going to pull out the toes on these, and I'm going to redo them, and I'm going to make it work, because I love this pattern. I love this yarn. I dyed this yarn, if you don't remember. This is the yarn that I dyed in jars. So fun. I think it's so pretty. It turned out so good. I will be dyeing mini skeins in jars like forever. I love it. They turn out so pretty. I'm sure I can accomplish the same thing in a pan, but I don't know. It's just fun to have it in a jar, and it's takes up less space, and I don't know, we'll see. I like to experiment with my dyeing too, so we'll see. It's fun. A lot of you actually have asked for like how I dye my yarn, like how I do it. So I've thought about making a video, but I don't have any sock yarn to dye right now. It's all been dyed up. And I don't have the budget to get more sock yarn to dye right now, because I like to buy in bulk. And so that's a video for the future, maybe. I've also thought about, this is kind of off topic, kind of random tangent. I've thought about doing videos weekly, but I'm still not 100% sure that I can stick up with that. And if I do it, I want to keep doing it. Like, I want to be consistent. So we'll see. If I did videos every week, it'd be like podcasts every other week, and then the other weeks I would do like my favorite summer patterns, dyeing techniques, knit this with me, my top favorite things to wear, whatever, you know, stuff like that. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Would you like to see more videos? Not. I mean, if yeah, let me know in the comments. We'll see. We'll see. Anyways, I might need some encouragement. But yes, I will be fixing the toes on these things, on my Birch Shortie socks. I love them. I'm excited to be able to actually wear them. They fit really nice. Such a fun pattern. I recommend them. It's a free pattern. I knitted both of these each with one mini skein each. So mini skein, 20-gram mini skein. And it's fun because, whoops, sorry, rattle. This is all I have left. It's like barely tipping the scale at 1 gram. It shifts between 0 grams and 1 gram. That's all I have left. So kind of fun. I think I'm going to do shorty socks a lot because I like shorter socks. I mean, they're nice. Maybe I still obviously would longer socks, but it's nice to be able to just get a sock out of a mini skein. So I might be doing that a lot more. I do have 2 other shorties planned with mini skeins that I already have dyed up. Though I don't know if I'll start socks soon in the near future, because I usually always have a sock on the needle, but I'm excited to see how many socks I can knit in 1 week during sock week that Knitty Natty hosts. So we'll see. But I don't think I can hold myself back clear until mid-July, end of July. When is that? I just want to start my next sock. So we'll see. I might start another pair. I did swatch up, teeny tiny little baby swatch of my zombie yarn, if you remember that. From a few episodes ago. For my first episode? Second? I don't know. I don't even know anymore. There's only 3 episodes and I still don't even know. There it is. So when I first finished dyeing this yarn, I was like, oh no. I don't like that. That doesn't look good. It looks like a big zombie threw up on it or something. But knitted up, it doesn't look awful. It's kind of fun. And if you missed previous episodes, this yarn will be socks for my husband. And so we call it the ugly socks. And we both know it's okay if they don't look great. It's probably just going to be a vanilla sock because it's speckly. And I have 3 more mini skeins of this. So these will be normal size socks, but it's kind of fun. Not exactly what I was going for. Way more speckly than I meant to do less is more. Less is more. Future self, less is more. But, so I might cast those on just to have a sock to knit on in the car, because I love to have that. But we'll see, because I have like 4 socks in the queue that I really want to knit, but I also want to see how many socks I can knit in a week during sock week. But we'll see. Okay, so whips. I feel like I got a decent amount done this week. I don't know if, or the last 2 weeks, I don't know if I'm knitting more because I'm podcasting now and I'm excited to get a lot done for the podcast, or if I knitted a lot because I had a stressful week and just knitted more, or if I'm just realizing that I knit how much I actually knit. Maybe I didn't realize I knit this much, because I feel like I have a good amount of progress on everything. Like in my last episode, I was to here on this t-shirt and now it's done, and it's fingering weight, and I didn't have the sleeves done. And it's done now, and blocked and we've woven in edges. And I hadn't even started this top. It's not done, obviously, but this is a test for Luisa at knitting.deer. It's called the Minou top, and I think I'm saying that right, the Minou top. There's a Minou cardigan. Look at that. During the last episode, I had the yarn, so I showed you the yarn, and right after the episode, or maybe right before I started filming, I got the pattern repeat, the basic pattern repeat, so that I could do the swatch. And so that night I swatched, and then when I was editing the podcast episode, I put up a swatch, so you can see the swatch. But I hadn't started this last time, but here we are, and I haven't even worked on this a whole lot. So I haven't worked on this in like a week or less than a week, because I wanted to save this for the cabin trip that we are going on next week. I want to be able to work on this at the cabin when we go boating. This is such an addicting knit. Like, it's so engaging. It's so fun to watch the cables grow. So it's a mix between half fisherman's rib and cables. And it's so pretty. I'm not usually a pink girl, but like I have 2 pink things in my closet and I like the color on me. I'm trying to see pink as a pretty color instead of just the color that pretty girls wear or that little girls like, because that's not all it is. Like, I'm trying to take the gender out of it and just see it as a pretty color. And this is a really pretty color. Like, and I feel like it looks decent on me, right? Maybe. I don't know. But it's fun. I'm really enjoying it. It's such an engaging knit. Like, I'm looking at it again and wanting to knit on it some more, but I really want to save it for the boating trip this week. It is Wednesday as I'm recording this. This will go up Friday. We leave for the cabin on Sunday. So I really want to be able to work on this at the cabin. But yes, so this will have I-cord edges around the sleeve, the straps, and the neck. It's the same on both sides. The front and the back are the same cut. Is that what you call it? The same cut? But I'm really, really loving it so much. I'm knitting this with True Boo yarn from Lion Brand. Let me see if I have, yeah. True Boo yarn from Lion Brand. And it's 100% rayon from Bamboo. This is the color light pink, I think. Am I holding that upside down? No, okay. 100% rayon from Bamboo in the color light pink. It's 100 grams and it's 241 yards or 220 meters per ball. So I love it. It feels so nice. So over the last week, if you're not watching anything on Instagram from me, my husband and I, so my husband is the oldest of 8 kids and we're pretty young to be married. So a lot of his siblings are still living at home. We babysat the siblings that still live at home over last week while his parents went to Spain to visit his sister who's interning there. So I knitted on this a lot. That's why I had a stressful week, because I was playing mom to my sibling-in-laws. But the sheets on the bed, at their house. Like, I always just love those sheets, and it's so comfy, and I love them. So we washed those sheets before we went home because we wanted to just have one less thing for them to do when they got home. And we checked the tag to see what those sheets were made out of, and they're made out of rayon, which is what this is made out of. And they feel the same, and it feels so luscious and so good. And it has a beautiful drape and sheen, shine, whatever. I'm so excited to have a top in this, and I might just have to buy a whole lot more of this yarn and knit tons more of DK weight summer tops in it. Because it feels so good. It's so, so, so soft. It's cool to the touch. It has a nice shine to it. It's nice and plump. It has good stitch quality. Is that what you call it? It holds its shape pretty well. I am really, really happy with the way it's knitting up. It's super slick. So like I need to find my stitch stoppers, my needle stopper thingies, because I'm terrified that they're going to slip off. And they have a lot. I've learned how to do half fisherman's rib really, really well now because my stitches keep falling off my needles because it's so slippery. And I have to fix my my half fisherman's rib, which like ladder down and pick up stitches because they slip off. But that's okay. That's a good skill to have. But that's a really great pattern. That one, the test for this one ends middle of July, and then it'll come out after that. Yeah, it's a DK weight. It's pretty quick knit. I'm loving it a lot. She has a cardigan in the same stitch pattern, and it's gorgeous, and I have to have that thing. I love it. So I want to knit that one up in the fall. I just need to find the perfect yarn for it. So next one is my Minou shirt jacket. I put most of my focus in on the cloud tee and on the Minou top this week, though I still got a decent amount done on my Minou shirt jacket, or these 2 weeks, but I still got a decent amount done on my Minou shirt jacket because it's such a fast knit. It's worsted weight on US 10 needles, I think. And hang on, this is a mess because I'm alternating skeins because it's hand-dyed. And one of my skeins is almost gone. But I've not joined in the round because it's not in the round. It's a jacket. But I have joined under the arm, so I'm working the body. I only have a few more inches until I split for the split hem and then work the rounded split hem. But like, look at this thing. It looks bigger on camera. I'm excited about this. There was multiple, it looks really, really variegated on camera. Wow. Or at least from here. Maybe it'll be better on your guys' end. But I'm really enjoying this. I'm loving my dye job. The yarn is very soft. It's from Nomad, the company Nomad. And there was a few days in the last week where I was wishing it was done because it got chilly at night, and my in-laws' house is pretty cold. They keep their house pretty cool. And it got pretty rainy this week, so there were so many times where I was like, I wish my Minou shirt jacket was done so I could wear it and just be cozy in an oversized, just warm thing. But it's not done. That's okay. I'll probably bring this one to the cabin too. But this one's fun. I'm just having a good time with it. The pattern is extremely clear. It's nice. I know it's like working on thick wool in the summer, but it's not that bad. It's really nice to have a thick knit over the summer because my hands just die. My hands die with the fingering weight. So it's nice to have a thicker knit, and it just goes so fast. Because like I said, I did most of my work on my cloud tee and on the Minou top and my sock. Well, I didn't put a ton of time in my socks, but I think I joined. I don't think I was joined in the round when I showed you last, or joined at the body. So I think I did all of this in the last week, and it's like pretty long. So I mean, it's scrunched up on here, but you know what I mean. So it's a pretty quick knit. If I were to knit I can normally say that word, I promise. I'm not even gonna try anymore. Monogamously. If I knit monogamously on it, it would be done really quick. But I have other things to knit on, so I like to work on different things. I can't just do the same thing over and over again. I gotta have variety. So I'm loving that one. Oops, wrong bag. And it's fun. I put this one in my Nomad bag from the company that I bought the yarn from, just because it's with their yarn. So it's nice to have totes. I love having totes for my projects. My Minou top was in this. I love this one. I don't know why I love this sheep so much, but I do. So that's that one. Yeah, I'm just excited to have it done. Yeah, there's really nothing to say about it right now because I'm just knitting back and forth. But I'm really, really excited to have that one done, so I can just wear it on chilly summer nights. Okay, so this next whip is kind of exciting. So it's a new cast on. You haven't ever seen this. I don't think you've even seen the yarn before. So this yarn is yarn that I bought a cardigan at the thrift store, and then I pulled the yarn out. And the yarn is 100% cotton, so I wanted to make summer tops with it. And it was like an extra large cardigan or something like that. So, and it was in like half fisherman's rib or something like that. So I knew I could get hopefully 2 summer garments out of it. And before I show it to you, so I wanted to knit a striped tank with it, like one of the with a thicker strap and then higher neck going down about here, right? So I wanted to do stripes, so I dyed some of it yellow, but it was gray to begin with, a light gray, so I thought I'd get a fun yellow. I used some color mixing tool online to see what I would get, and I was like, okay, this will turn out good. But the yellow was kind of nasty when it came out. And I didn't love it. Here, I'll show you the yellow. So the fabric may have been sun damaged or bleached or something at some point. I don't know, because I have some pinks in there. And there's little bits of greens because I think there was blue stuck in my pot. But it's kind of interesting. It's not the most beautiful. It might be fine on camera. I can't really tell. But when I tried doing stripes with it, I was going to do like thick stripes, thin stripes, thick stripes, thin stripes, and have just fun stripes going on. But together, for some reason, the gray just does not, it just makes the yellow look pukey almost, or like greeny yellow. I don't know. It's just together the stripes just did not work, and I just couldn't do it. And so I ripped it out, and it's been sitting in my closet for like a month, just trying to figure out what to do with it. And I've been dyeing, I won't say that part yet. I've been scrolling through Instagram and watching YouTube and stuff, and watching all these yarn haul videos, and just like frustrated that I don't have all the yarn in the world. But it's not bad that I don't have all the yarn in the world. But just wishing that I had more yarn to just use. And, oh, I want to cast this on? Okay, buy the pattern, go get the yarn out of my closet, cast on. Can't just do that. So it's just been like, but it's okay. So I've had to like turn off my phone, turn off Instagram, turn off YouTube for a while, stop watching the knitting community, just collect all the beautiful yarns while I can't. And I looked at what I had and I did my best to get creative. So to all my friends who don't have a huge yarn stash or don't have a huge budget for yarn, if you ever find yourself watching YouTube or knitting people on Instagram, YouTube or Instagram knitters sharing their massive yarn stashes and just being like, oh, I wish, and getting sad about it, just turn everything off for a second and look at what you have and get creative. Or go spend a couple bucks at a thrift store and pull the sweater apart and see what you can do with it. Because you might be really surprised with what you can get. So all summer I've been dying to knit a marled tank, but I haven't known exactly what to do. I wanted to do black and gray because I thought that would look really cool, but I bought a black sweater to thrift, the yarn from, but it was just a nightmare to pull apart, and it wasn't working. So I was like, screw that idea. I'm not going to get my black and gray marled tank this summer. But then I pulled out, so I finished my cloud tee, and I was like, I need to cast something else on, but I don't have any yarn, blah, 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 do I do, blah, blah, blah. And I got creative, and I pulled out my yellow yarn and my gray yarn. I have a lot more gray yarn, don't worry. And I was like, what if I held them together? Because, is it My Favorite Things Knitwear, blouse number 1? I think that's what it is. She has two, like a strand of like white or gray held with a strand of this light pastel-y yellow held together, and it's so fun. And it got me thinking, I have those similar-ish colors. What if I held them together for my marled tank top that I desperately want to knit? So I went home. When I got home from watching my sibling-in-laws, I did it. I held them together, and the yarn that I pulled out was more of a lace weight. It's not focusing. More of a lace weight. So when I hold them together, I get something like fingering weight. So I can make a fingering weight tank that's a looser gauge, so it's nice and breezy, and it's not going to use a ton of yarn because it's a looser gauge. And I can use my yellow, and I like the way it comes out when it's held together. I didn't like it striped, but I like it held together for some reason. Come on. Yep, there we go. I don't know what the difference is. I don't know why I like this but not stripes, but I love this. So I started it one night, or one day during my daughter's nap or something like that. And then later, I had started the sleeve, the strap. Oops. Wow, this is a mess. I started the strap, and then my husband came in to my little studio, my piano room, where I happen to store all my knitting stuff, so it's kind of a craft room. I don't know. Anyways, he came in and he saw what I was working on, and he goes, ooh, what's that? So he really likes it too. My marled tank. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. My passion, my desire to knit a marled tank came back after Rebecca, the Crayabea. She was posting pictures of, and her knitting podcast. She was showing her what is gonna most likely be the Tolsta Tank for next summer. So she was showing that and all the funness of that, and how it's supposed to be. I think it's also going to be a DK weight, which is just like the Tolsta T, so you could hold two fingerings together to get DK. And so you could marl and have a marled tank. And so I messaged her and I was like, I've been dying to make a tank and marl it, and it'd be perfect for DK because you can just hold two different fingering colors together and get it. So this pattern would be perfect. And she's like, oh, that would be cool. That would be cool. And after talking to somebody about it, I was like, okay, I just have to do it. And it works. Like, I love the colors. And if it turns out well, and if it fits nice, and if I like it, I might make a pattern and release it next summer. Because it's a little late to do that this summer. But I'm really excited about it. So if I were to knit another sample in actual yarn and not yarn that I thrifted from something, I would probably use, I'm going to say this wrong, is it Isager or Isager? I don't know, Isager Trio, because that's like a lace weight, so holding two together will get you a fingering, I think. I don't know, I've never even seen that stuff in real life. So it'd be fun. And it wouldn't use a whole ton of yarn, so we'll see. We'll see, it might be fun. Because I would love a gray and black one still. But I think I would name this like Splotch Tank, or Sunspot Tank or something like that. Because it's the first one that I ever make is yellow. So if you have any other ideas for this, let me know. So the vision for this. Obviously you can see what shape it's going to be. The neckline is going to be pretty close to the neck. The ribbing around the neck, I want to do gray, just all gray, not marled. So I think that'll be fun, little touch. And then I-cords around the straps. I think that'll be fun. All gray again, just for that. So the edges will be all gray, not marled. I think that'll be fun. And then, yeah, It's a loose gauge. I don't remember what the gauge is, so I'll have to figure that out and let you know some other time. But it'll be fun. And the straps are a little bit wider, so I mean, it's not super wide, so it's still delicate and nice, but I think this will cover a bra strap because I'm also comparing it to my twist loop top by Other Loops, and the straps are a little bit thicker than that, and that almost covers my bra. So this should cover my bra while still being fairly thin, which I like because I don't like the super thick. I mean, I don't mind the super thick tank straps, but I like them more when they're a little bit more thin and delicate. So having them just slightly bigger to cover that bra strap, perfect. So I'm super excited about this. I'm excited to watch this. So this is definitely coming to the cabin with me next week. Hopefully I can get tons done while there's more people around to watch my daughter, and I can go off on my own and go knit out in a hammock or whatever. But I might get less knitting done because we'll play family games and stuff. We're pretty into Catan when we get together, Settlers of Catan, and Dominion and stuff like that. So I might not have time to knit very much because we'll be playing games, and watching movies and stuff. But we'll see. Oh, this is really not knitting related at all, but my in-laws play Farkle. I don't know if, I mean, some of you might know that game, some of you might not. But they play Farkle, but with consequences. So whoever loses Farkle usually has to do something crazy. So like it's not a yearly thing. One time somebody had to eat like a spoonful of mustard. One time somebody had to lick peanut butter off of somebody else, off the winner's toe. Or no, the second to last loser's toe. One time I was still breastfeeding. And so somebody had to drink some breast milk that I had pumped for my daughter. So they had to drink my breast milk for the consequence for that one. So like, Farkle is terrifying for me. Whenever I'm spending time with my in-laws, we play Farkle, and it's like the most terrifying thing in the world. So I just remembered that, and that's what that whole face was. The whole was a minute ago. We'll see. But anyways, that's that. That's my Sunsplotch or Sunspot or Sun whatever tank. I'm super excited about it. Hopefully I can get a lot done on it. Hopefully I'll be knitting in the round when I show you next time. And then maybe I can pick up the stitches and do the neck by next time, so you can kind of see what that's going to look like. So I'm really excited about that. Ooh, I just had an idea. I don't want to forget that. Yeah, that's that. So my next two things aren't real things. The blanket that I need to slow down. The blanket that I showed you in my first episode with the herringbone stitch, I have done like 2 or 3 rows on it. I want to finish it. It's a nice blanket. It's a good pattern. It's a fun stitch. It's good yarn. Maybe it's just a summer thing, but it's not just a summer thing. I'm having more fun knitting garments, so I don't want to knit a blanket. I timed myself, and knitting 1 row takes me like 15 to 16 minutes. And I have like 5 skeins left, 4 or 5 skeins left. So maybe we need to have like a blanket make along. And if any of you have unfinished blankets that you just need to finish and get off your needles, let me know in the comments. And if there's enough of us, maybe we'll start a little knit along with our blankets and encourage each other to finish our blankets. Maybe we can start like maybe we can Zoom together and just chat and knit, or we can stream, or we can have a Instagram message group chat thing and just get our blankets done, because I just need to get it done. But yeah, maybe we'll do that. I just need to get it done, but I need encouragement. So if any of you have blankets that you need to get done and need encouragement with, let me know. We can get that going. And then I wound up the yarn for my mom's shawl. So she bought Malabrigo yarn for me to knit her a shawl with. This is when I was feeling bleh about not having any yarn, but I have yarn. I just don't have money to go buy yarn for fun. So I needed to find another pad or thing to cast on. So I wound up my Malabrigos, and I was going to start the shawl for my mom, and I got the pattern and everything. And I started swatching, but the swatch was absolutely not matching. It was way too small. So I needed to go up a needle size, but those needles, the size 10, it calls for 9s, but I need size 10s. I think that's what it is, which I'm using on my Minou shirt jacket, and I don't want to take them off, and you know, I don't want to swappies. But I might just swappies because I'm excited to start this. I'm excited to work with this yarn. It's so soft. So maybe I'll have started this by next time, maybe I won't. But it's really pretty. It's nice yarn. It's fun to knit with the 50 stitches I got in and ripped out. Really nice to work with. It's really pretty in a cake. Oh, look at those colors. I'm showing you again. I know I just showed you, but really pretty. So I'm excited to work on that. So I'm visiting my mom in Utah in July. So it'd be fun to get done by the end of July so I can bring it to her. But she's also just visiting me again in September. So I can have it done by then and give it to her then. She said no rush on it. I can make it whenever. So we'll see. Anyways, her birthday's in October, so maybe I'll just make it for October and give it to her for her birthday, even though she paid for it. But I might have it casted on by next time. I'm excited to make it. I might have it casted on by next time. I might not. We'll see. Though I have plenty of other things going on right now. So yeah. Okay, I think that's all for today. So a lot going on, but also not a ton going on. It feels like less because it's a shorter episode than usual. But it's still quite a bit. So yeah. If you liked today's episode, and you want to see more from me, feel free to check me out on Instagram at goldenhour.knitwear. I update that pretty regularly and show stuff in my stories quite often. So if you want to see what I'm up to, go follow me there. And if you want to make sure you never miss an episode from me here on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything. Yeah, I think that's about it. Though, like I said earlier, I've been really contemplating doing episodes every week. So I do podcasts every other week and then something else on the other weeks. I'm very much contemplating that. So if you really want to see that, let me know. If you have any ideas of episodes you want to see, like yarn dyeing, favorite summer tops, explore my Ravelry favorites by Q, whatever, my knit list, whatever ideas you have for me, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments what you're knitting on, if you want to do that blanket cal, if you have any blankets, like I was talking about earlier in the episode, let me know. Let's chat in the comments. So I'll see you again next time, 2 weeks from now. And if I do decide to do episodes every week, it won't be this week because I'm going boating. I'll be in a different state. I'm not going to be making an episode this week. So I'll see you in 2 weeks from now, unless I see you on Instagram before then. But yeah, bye for now. Thanks for watching.